Hey guys, so today I wanted to talk about this Zenkai Awakening feature. At this point, it's been out for 2-3 weeks, but yeah, I'm recording this commentary after the video. So the video was recorded around December 21st. I believe this video should be going up around December 27th. I'm recording this on December 26th, the commentary. So I have had a chance to test out the Beerus, but yeah. I will be talking over these summons because they would be extremely boring to watch because they're pretty much all the same thing. But yeah, let's talk about this Zenkai Awakening thing. So I think I've been saying this for a while, but I think the concept is actually pretty good. The ability to grind out a unit, to get them stronger and buff them up. Older units that are not good anymore. So the Goku and the Broly mainly. And then obviously the Beerus too, because Beerus was the first quote-unquote ticket exclusive unit, but he never really was like at that level of power that we see in LFs nowadays. So I'm happy that they buffed him, but what I'm not happy about is how they handled the paid aspect of the Zenkai Awakening. So let's just start off by talking about how I feel about the free-to-play aspect of this. So like basically Zenkai level 1. Zenkai level 1, I feel like is actually a pretty good system that they have right now. I think that level of power that like the Goku and the Broly and Beerus are on Zenkai level 1 are actually pretty good. They're not too strong, they're not too weak. And it really isn't that hard to get them to Zenkai level 1. So before I actually did the grind for myself, like the what was I gonna say? The grind, right? The friendship level 10 grind. So it really isn't terribly bad. I mean, it does take a while, like I don't know, like 800 to 1,000 runs on the same stage to get them, from level 1 to level 10 is a lot. But the thing with Legends is Legends has the auto battle feature, right? So you can just have the game basically play for you. So when I was doing, because I grinded Beerus up from level, I think it was pretty much from level 1 to 10. When I was doing the grind, basically I was doing other stuff at the same time, and then I had it, my phone next to my keyboard. And then I had it basically grinding out the stage, and whenever like the stage would be over, I would just click rematch, and that's it. That was the whole grind, but it would take a while. So if you're somebody who doesn't have the energy tickets or whatever, then maybe I would say hold off for now. But if you have the resources available to you, then I mean, I would go for it. It's definitely worth it for the Goku and Broly, and even I assume most of you don't have Beerus at 7-star, but if you do, I would definitely recommend the grind. Even if you don't have the energy tickets, there's a million ways to get them, right? We have the Legends Road shop, login bonuses, you can get them through that. You can get them through like those stages. I think it's the baby event is out right now. You can get energy tickets from there. You can get them from I think it's the co-op shop has energy tickets, the guild shop has energy tickets, like the snowman thing is, there's like a million ways to get energy tickets now. So if you're going to choose a way to use them, I would say spend them on this grind if you have the units ready to go, because they are very good, and it's basically a free way to get yourself a really top tier unit. Now let's go into the pay to play aspect of this, because as you can see, I went into this banner with around 21k crystals, which that's a lot. If you look at the shop, I believe it's like 29 bucks for a sale to get the 2,000 crystals pack. So if you do the math, that's that's pushing like 300 bucks. It's actually a little bit more than 300 bucks with tax. So me in this video, I'm basically spending 300 bucks to just buff up an old unit to be better. Now granted, I do think this Beerus is like insanely good when he's level 7 Zenkai, and I have yet to actually unlock his second unique, but I have had the time to test him out, and he is incredibly powerful. So I would not say that it was a waste for me to do this, but I would very strongly recommend against anybody doing what I'm doing here. Because if you think about it, like if you do have access to those kinds of crystals, that kind of money to spend on the game, would you rather spend 21k crystals on this banner, or would you rather just spend it on the Super Saiyan 4 banner? Because if you think about it, 21k crystals, so you started step 3 on the Super Saiyan 4 banners, right? And then you go 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 is free. So the step 3 costs 700, then 4, 5, 6 all cost 1,000. So you got 3,700 crystals per like round, right? So you do like a rotation. So you do one rotation of 3,700 crystals. So compare that to what you can do on here. That's, you know, that's like 6 rotations you can do pretty much on there. So with 21,000 crystals, you're basically sacrificing 6 rotations on the Super Saiyan 4 banner to possibly get a ton of good stuff, and you're throwing it on this banner where, you know, you're guaranteed to buff up Beerus, or any of the other Zenkai characters for that matter. But it's definitely has way less value than, you know, just spending on the Super Saiyan 4 banners, because you can get really good EX characters, you can get Super Saiyan 4 characters, you can get Baby, you can get all these characters, like all the featured units, right? And even the unfeatured units are pretty good. You got like stuff like Full Power Frieza in there you could give a chance of getting. You have like Blue Gogetas in there. Even some of the Legends Limited units are good. Like you got Super Vegito, you got Namek Goku. So just overall, I think the Super Saiyan 4 banners have a ton of better value than these Zenkai banners do. So in that sense, these Zenkai banners are way more so aimed at whales and people who have like way too much income. Well, not too much income, but like, you know, they're willing to spend a lot of money on this game. And if you look at like, because I finished the Super Saiyan 4 banners before jumping into this Beerus banner, because there was no way I was going to prioritize summoning on this Beerus banner over the Super Saiyan 4 banner. There was just no way. I'd much rather have the new units, right, than buffing up Beerus. But I was somebody who was a proponent of this Beerus getting buffed ever since pretty much he released back in December of last year. So it's been pretty much a year. And, you know, finally they decided to buff him, but obviously not in the way I would have liked them to buff him. I mean, I just think they should have made it more accessible to more people, right? I mean, yeah, Zenkai 1 is nice, but if you compare this to what we used to have, where you would just log in and the unit would be buffed, like that's how it used to be, then I think I would prefer the old method. But this is like, people were talking about how much they hated the new Soul Boost system, but if you look at what this Zenkai Awakening system is doing, I would argue that this Zenkai Awakening system is actually way more pay to win, quote unquote, than the Soul Boost system changes. So like red stars and stuff, that is not anywhere close to how much pay to win this is. This is like, because right now we only have 3 units that are able to be Zenkai Awoken. And, you know, we'll eventually be getting way more. So like Red Trunks, think about him. He's probably going to get a Zenkai Awakening at some point. Yellow Android 18, she's probably going to get a Zenkai Awakening at some point. Who else we got? Like, I don't know, like Green Android 16 is probably going to get one. We got, I don't know, I'm not going to pull up the list right now, but there's, like, at what point are they going to, like, how many units are going to get Zenkai Awakenings is what I'm asking, right? Are we going to eventually get to a point where there's like 50 units that are all Zenkai Awakenable, and they're all going to cost 20 plus K crystals to get boosted? Like, that's that's going to get absurd. So obviously this is not a system that's like geared towards 99% of the player base, because it's just, no one's going to have this amount of expendable chrono crystals, right? So definitely I would say that they should take the time to go and relook at this, like relook their stance on Zenkai Awakenings, and just relook their stance on what it means to buff old units, because I think buffing old units is a really it's a really good part about what the game had for a long time. It made sure that units that were really bad and really old were no longer really bad and really old, which is really cool, because if somebody didn't play for a while, or, you know, they just had terrible luck on banners, then they at least had those units to fall back on, to help them out if they were, you know, not able to compete in PvP or whatever. So I don't think this Zenkai Awakening system, it does not fulfill the same goal that the old buffing system did, because this is not an effective way to help out the players who, you know, weren't able to pull the units that they wanted, or, you know, or stuck with the older units. So I think that this is just an inferior way of doing things than the old way. But yeah, as you can see, you will see eventually. I do end up getting Beerus to the Zenkai level 7. It does take around 20, a little bit more than 20k, like 21k crystals, somewhere around there. So Yeah, it took a lot. And definitely will not be doing this for Goku or Broly, so don't even ask. Currently, I am... I'll just let you guys know, though, because the actual Zenkai Souls that you need to boost these guys, they are like... the only way to get them is through the co-op shop. And you get those the co-op medals, right? So every time you do, I think it's 3 wins per day, you get 100. And that's where you get your Zenkai Awakening souls. So there's only a finite amount of souls you can get per day. You can also do the adventures, but it's like it's not even worth doing them because they give you like 5 souls per adventure. It's like not even worth it. But especially with the snowman adventure stuff going up right now, because you can't have both going. So I prefer to have the snowman stuff up right now. But currently I believe it's the first 3 soul boards are 100% done, and I am working on the 6th board. So the reason why I skipped 4 and 5 is because the 6th board actually has the 2nd unique ability for Beerus. So whenever you Zenkai Awaken a character to level 7, or I believe, so level 2 you get the 1st unique, and then level 6 you get the 2nd unique ability. Level 2's unique for Beerus is whenever he goes onto the battlefield, he locks an enemy's arts card, which is pretty good. I mean, it's... it can be very impactful, especially if the enemy has a Dragon Ball on a card and you end up locking that card. It's super impactful, but it's not anything crazy. The really crazy part comes in with his 2nd unique ability. His 2nd unique ability, whenever he switches out, so whenever he's on the battlefield and you switch out of him, he afflicts the enemy with 20% increased damage taken, and he grants your allies 20% damage done. For both of them last for 20 timer counts. So up until this point, Beerus was classified as a support type unit, but you never really had that supporting functionality, except for, destroying your enemy's cards on his ultimate skill, which is not really... personally, I wouldn't really classify that as a supporting ability, but it is what it is. But at this point, when you Zenkai Awaken him to level 6 at least, he's able to pick up that, super support ability. Because having those, it's basically a double supporting thing, because you buff your enemies and you debuff you buff your allies and you debuff your enemy. So that's really going to increase the amount of damage you do. I'm thinking about Goku Black, right? Goku Black does a 30% debuff to the enemies. Granted, it's the entire fight and it's on all of them, but I mean, Beerus is doing 2/3 of that, and he's buffing your allies too. So that's absurd, because right now the team I run with Beerus is Beerus, Whis, and then the Green Elf Vegeta. And Whis already buffs allies on switch out, and so now Beerus is also going to be doing that. And then Vegeta also buffs all of his allies whenever he uses an arts card, so everyone in that team is going to be buffing each other. At this point, I think I am like 1 or 2 days away from being able to unlock that 2nd unique. But as soon as I do that, I'll definitely put out a video. And we'll see how that goes. But here we go. He is finally Zenkai Awoken to level 7. Yeah, not something I really want to do too often. I'll do it for like Frieza units or cooler units, but if they come out with like a Zenkai Awakening for Trunks, like the red Trunks, don't expect me to do that. It's just, I don't want to throw 20+K crystals into this, system every time a new unit comes out. But the last thing I want to say is, why am I doing this? So I put out a poll on Twitter, and I said, do you want me to do this, yes or no? And I actually expected most people to say no, but most people did say yes, and it wasn't really that close. So here we are. Don't do this. Recommend not doing it. Please just watch my content on the Beerus, and I hope that basically prevents you guys from summoning and doing this, because this should be something that nobody does. Please let me do all the work, and then you guys can watch it and sort of live through me, experience the Zenkai Awoken Beerus through me. Definitely have a video out on this guy, probably within the next 2 days, so keep your eyes out for that. But until then, hope you guys enjoyed. I hate this system. Don't do it. Don't summon. And I'll see you guys in the next one.